Some of the most popular baby foods in America contain dangerous levels of toxic metals, and these metals are having a massive impact on the developmental bodies of children. Joining me to talk about this is Farron Cousins from the Trial Lawyer magazine. Farron, you know, this story, first of all, check and see how much television coverage this is getting from corporate media. How about almost zero? Why? Because these baby food manufacturers spend a lot of money on advertising, whether it's Gerber, whether it's Happy Baby. They spend a lot of money on television. So somebody in the big office says, oh, we can't do a story on this. Same thing we faced with cigarettes, same thing we faced with dozens and dozens of pharmaceuticals that are killing people.
Right, and Gerber alone spends about $20 million a quarter on advertising, you know, in traditional corporate media. So that alone is enough to keep stories like this silent. But Congress, earlier this year, just a few months ago, came out with this big, massive study that said, essentially, we are poisoning children in the United States with these baby foods. Gerber, Beech-Nut, Happy Baby, toxic levels of these heavy metals. And, oh, by the way, the FDA doesn't actually regulate the amount of toxic heavy metals in these baby foods. So that's why they did the report, to say, hey, maybe FDA, if you feel like it, do something. And of course, the story just dies. It dies immediately.
It's self-regulation. They say to Gerber, look, I mean, who are these freaks? I mean, it's now think about this. Happy Baby, okay? Food called Happy Baby has 600 times the amount of arsenic. Now, follow me on this. In water, the FDA does take a position. It's drinkable water. It should be only 5 parts per billion, okay? Happy Baby is putting 600 parts per billion of arsenic in the Happy Baby food, and media doesn't say a word about it. It's causing developmental problems with these kids. It's lowering their IQ. It's enabling, well, it's enabling this company to just absolutely hustle these parents and not feel any shame about it. That's what's been going on for a decade here.
Right, and we're talking about potential yearly economic losses of about $80 billion a year from poisoning these children. We're talking 10% of children in the United States having dangerous levels of these toxic heavy metals go into their body every day. And here's the kicker too, it's not only in the baby foods. You know, for the people who say, well, I make my own baby food. It turns out, this report also found, it's actually systemic all throughout the food in the United States.
And why? Because farmers don't want to remove the topsoil. Easy solution. You take the topsoil out because the topsoil is exposed to all types of carbons, all types of pesticides. And so what you do is scrape the top, move it through, and then use another layer. It's too expensive to do that, so the choice is, well, hell, we'll just poison the baby. The worst thing about it is, I mean, this is so sick. The FDA says, we take this seriously. Really? They've done nothing about it for a decade. They've been told and time again, we brought a case against them. We tested the baby food. We saw it way out of kilter, 100, 200 times what it should be. Look, what we're talking about is mercury. We're talking about arsenic. We're talking about lead. We're talking about cadmium that a mother is feeding their child without any kind of warning on the label that says, hey, wait a second. You understand it's heavy metals, and heavy metals will cause developmental problems. I don't know how it gets worse.
Well, you know, and that's where the line is really drawn here. It's one thing if these food companies didn't understand what was happening with their baby foods, if they didn't know these poisons and toxins were going in there. But from what we can tell right now, it sure seems like they knew, and that's where the liability comes in. You knew, you did nothing to warn. That's a failure.
Bush was asked to get involved and do something, right? Obama was asked to get involved and do something, and they didn't. And now you have the Biden administration get involved and do something. What's your bet?
My bet is that we've seen all we're going to see on this issue for the year.
In corporate media, this will die. They won't do it on television because they don't want to hurt their pocketbook.